Good afternoon, everybody. So, let's talk about what the stats gave us today. But first of all, let's look at where we are. This market moved back up into this zone. You see this M open here. This is the monthly open. So, this is where, the month opened, basically. So, what I tend to do is pay attention to the monthly open, the weekly open, and I will draw a box like this around the day of the monthly open, the daily range, just to kind of see what it gives me. And it's always a place where we tend to play around, we tend to dance around if the market's coming back toward it. So there are some statistics around returning to these areas, the weekly and the monthly open, but won't get into that. But nonetheless, this is why I had some confidence in the highs and lows today. But let's look at around 9:30 or so. So we look at the way the market set up. I'm not getting into the details of all of this, but the way that the market set up overnight, plus how we were setting up this morning, we had a couple of anomalous high of day zones. We had another one that was right here. We barely blew through it trying to get up here, and we were just trying to get up there to go chase this pattern right here. Now, it wouldn't surprise me, even though this pattern's mostly failed, if we don't try to get back up there. It's something that possibly happens, but we also have gaps down below, so who knows? I don't trade overnight, so um so yeah. So what ends up happening is at the open, we reject as we right before the open, we rejected on this high of day. We pulled back, ripped trying to get back up to this high of day. But what ended up happening in this setup, we ended up building another harmonic pattern right here. And we just barely got through where it should have gone. And we got a pretty nasty rejection, and we started to pull back through this opening area, that green box. So then we start finding rejection here. And then from there, it's something I even called out in the room, which is, when we pull down here, if we don't end up bouncing in this low side area here, we're going to go find, not only we're going to find this midnight target down here, we're going to go find this this low of day that we'd marked out this morning down here. All right, and that was pretty sweet that we just kind of bounced in there and turned around and came back up to the where we opened, which is a pretty common target. So anyway, we've got statistically the reason this was a big target, this right here, this red line right here, was because we had a 95% chance statistically to come back to that target based on the way everything was setting up. Those were pretty good odds. So why wouldn't we trade back to it, right? So if we were to look at the times, 8 o'clock, 8:30, this is typically news days that'll give us that. And then otherwise we have after the open, right? The first time statistically was 9:30, which we didn't. We pushed, right? We were trying to set up these highs of days to go dump. Because a lot of times if we're going to go down, the first thing we're going to do is go up. Not always, but it's a thing that we tend to try to do. And we can look at the statistical highs and lows, but we don't really have to do that right now. The next closest time was going to be 10 and then 11. And so we ended up taking out this target roughly at 11:15, right? So between 11 and 11:30, which is what that time was kind of showing us, right? So yeah, that's where those trades come. That's where they came from. We found this low, set up this pattern all the way back to the open, this little open zone here, and beautiful. Let's see here, here. Yeah, none of this was really, this was a statistical high, a pretty common statistical high. Your most common times are 1800, 9:30, 1500 to close the day, and then some, usually around 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, let's see. Am I forgetting anything here? I don't think so. We talked about the monthly open. Yeah, overall, pretty great day. You find this constant rejection, find your targets down here. You could short the open and just add up here. That's a pretty long way to hold, though, depending on how you trade. But yeah, I mean, the pullback through this zone and the hold to the low side here, it's pretty awesome to see this come down and go take out this low. So anyway, hope everybody had a good day. If you're interested in checking out this stats database, I'll put a link in the description for a wait list that we have. Should be open in the next week or so. Yeah, I will look forward to seeing everybody.